Music licensing reimagined.
Way too much fun with this. Way too much fun with this music. I love it.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
That was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. All right. I got more music.
Artlist.
I got more music for you. Let's keep going.
Artlist.io.
Oh my goodness.
Music licensing reimagined.
I'm trying to go country. I don't know if this is country. The last one was. I don't know about this one. I think I gotta stop it. It's too bothersome. All right, let's see what else we got here. How about this? What's this? There's some country for ya.
Artlist.io.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Music licensing reimagined.
Definitely happy now, DJ. Definitely happy now. I just saw your dog. For sure. You're probably like, what music's she gonna have tomorrow? You'll have to tune in to find out.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
That is some serious fun. Oh my gosh, I'm having way too much fun with this new music. I'm trying to find my new intro music, and so we're going through multiple different options to see what works. We've not found it yet. I'm telling you that right now, but I'm gonna keep playing with it. Maybe I don't need to have the same music every time. Maybe every time is different music, and that'll make people tune in because they want to see what music's playing. We might be onto something here. We may be onto something here. Okay, I want to know, before we even get into things, what did you learn yesterday? Did you have any big ahas from yesterday? Drop them in the comments. I want to see what, I like to think of myself as an aha collector. It pumps me up, it motivates me, it's what inspires me, and it helps you too, because you are focusing on the accomplishment or the achievement that you had in learning something new, or maybe even applying something. So I would love for you to comment. We'll look at them here in a second. Before we jump into this, do you have the workbook for day number 2? Okay, it looks like this guy. It's got a fish hook right on the cover. Okay, if you need it, the link is right above this video. If you go up into the description, the link will be right there. If you registered for the challenge, you also have it in your email, so you can grab it there. It's also pinned in the Facebook group, which, by the way, while I'm here, I'm giving you a little moment to just get your workbook. I have set up guides inside the group to help organize all of this. So in the group itself, across the top, if you're in the group, is the banner, and then there's the little menu, and if you click on the word that says guides, you'll see guide 1, guide 2, and then tomorrow you'll see guide 3. So everything you need is kind of organized in there. Think of them like little file folders, okay? So you can find it in there as well. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. If you are new to me, which is possible, maybe you missed yesterday and you weren't here for day 1. My name is Jamie Hain. I am a video and growth coach. And I thought I'd just share a little nugget of kind of my background here today. I am a trainer. My background is in adult education and teaching corporate. I spent years and years and years leading learning and development organizations for some pretty big companies in the US. And what was super interesting is when I finally got to the point where I was at a director level with the organization, I then had to go into the boardroom and present to the C-suite, the CFO, CEO, all of the C's, right? And the first few times that I had to go in there, you don't get to stay for the whole show. You just get to go in like right before it's your turn, but you at least see a little bit of the person before you. And the more of these events that I'm going to and I'm watching, I'm like, this is not good. These people are struggling to present their ideas. And as I'm looking around and reading the room, I'm looking at these executives going, like they're just dying. It was painful. So I went to the CEO and I said, I know that like I do learning and development, but I think I can help here. And we had this great conversation. He's like, why not? It can't get worse. I mean, it's painful. And so I started doing some coaching with other directors and came up with this framework that allowed them to just knock it out of the park inside the boardroom. That framework is part of what I've built my business on today. And I just thought that was really cool. One of the elements of that framework is to start with a hook. And that is what we are learning today. I'm so excited. Okay, so let's look at your ahas. Oop, there we go. From today, if anybody shared. Let me see. Okay. I'm going, everybody's liking the music. Okay, Julie says the POW bubble method was an eye-opener. We're going to use it again today, so I'm glad you like it. Okay, Catherine can't find the workbook. Best place to find it is in this video. Are you watching on your phone or on your computer? That may make the difference. But if you go into the Get on Camera Facebook group, like go into the group, at the very top, you'll see featured or pinned post. I can't remember what it's called. It's going to be right there, and you should be able to download it from there. Okay. Amanda says the power of stories, connecting them to the topic of the video is my aha from yesterday. We're going to touch on that a little bit today as well. Awesome. Christy, anyone new here? Jamie is the best. Is that your aha, that I'm the best? She changed my entire way of doing things online, and as a result, my business boomed. Yeah, so much booming that I don't even get to see her anymore because she's so busy. I love that. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. I wish nothing but the best for you and for everybody else. Like, that is why I do this thing. I say all the time, I win when you win. So I want you to have success. I want you to be able to smash it on video or smash it in your Facebook group, smash it with your social media, whatever it is. All of those things, it's all about presenting your ideas. It's figuring out your messaging and being able to present those ideas. That's what we're doing here. It's presentation skills is what you're learning. Love it. Okay, Catherine said I couldn't get it from the email. I'm guessing you're probably not able to get it from the group then either. Can you find the post in the group with the workbook and it just doesn't open, or you can't even find it? Catherine says, thank you for clarifying what the C-suite is. I've heard it and no idea what it is. Yeah, CFO, CEO, CTO, CA. Well, they're all C's. Okay. Amanda said, ooh, you started with a story. Oh, you see what I did there? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Amanda. Also, when you get to the section in the Go Live League where we talk about introductions, I want you to remember this video and remember what I just did there, okay? Okay. Catherine is on your computer. Okay, if you're on the computer, can you get to the Facebook group, the Get on Camera Facebook group? And do you find the post that says workbook? Let me know that. Okay. Sharon says a variety of story ideas. I like the post-it note idea of making post plans. Yes. And it works really great on your phone as well. I will give you a quick tip. If you're putting post-it notes on your phone, 2 quick things. Number 1, use the post-it note brand. The others don't stick as well. They just don't. It's an inferior stickiness. The other thing is if your phone is dirty, and I don't mean like it's been dropped in the mud, I mean from smashing it on your face and there's oils on it, the stickies won't stick. So clean your phone if you're ever going to do that. Okay. Laura says using the story to the tip. Yes, connecting it, right? Yes, I love it. Love it. Laura says, other Laura, we got 2 Lauras today. My aha from yesterday was only giving 1 call to action. Yes, isn't that awesome? It's a big one. Yep. Okay, Catherine says she's going to get the workbook afterwards. Okay, message me. Catherine, I know you're VIP, so message me afterwards, and I'll see if we can't help you there. I might be able to just start messaging it to you, and then maybe you can open it. Oh, that'll be on your phone, though. We'll figure it out. Okay, lots of ahas today. I love it. Okay, now I am tempted, very, very tempted to take any questions you have with day 1 right now, but we're not going to because I promised everybody we would get right to the learning right at the beginning. So we're going to take day 1 questions at the end. Okay. Let us begin. So a quick recap. You are learning this 3-step model: hook, story, call to action. It is a 3-step model that is easy. It is effective. It's fun. And you can use it. I still use it today, especially if I'm doing just a quick live in my Facebook group or on my personal profile. I still use this model. It can get you further than you may think that it does. Yes, when you join the Go Live League, we're going to get into more advanced parts and pieces, but this is kind of the basic framework. So yesterday, we focused on the story part and the call to action part. Today, we're getting into how do you grab attention? How do you get people to even watch your video in the first place? And yes, my friends, we are talking about hooks, which are my favorite thing to do of all the things. And that's why there's a fish hook on the front of your workbook today. Okay, so for those of you that are keeping track, this now, from this point forward, is going to be the bulk of the learning today. I will stay on after, just like I did yesterday. And I've got a couple of other notes that I want to cover, some other things. I'll help you. We'll do some examples. I'll answer any questions that you have on hooks, but also yesterday's stories and call to action now that you've had some time to put it into practice, okay? Are you ready to do this? Yes? Everybody's ready? Woo! Okay, so on, I think this is page 3 of your workbook, we're going to first just talk a little bit about what is a hook, what's the best kind of hook, and why should you use a hook? And then we'll get into actually planning what you're going to do, okay? So, have you ever been fishing? Like, fishing, whether it was on the ocean, in a lake, whether you had a fancy pole or just a stick with a string. Have you been fishing before? Now, I used to go fishing with my grandfather. He grew up on a ranch in Montana, and every summer, the whole family, it was like a caravan up, and every summer he would take one grandchild, and it was like their fishing bonding moment. And I remember when I was finally old enough to get it, I was so excited. And I just had this great bond with my grandpa, and I remember just learning so much from him and just being fascinated by him and the stories that he would tell. And so on the way to the riverbank, or I think it was a creek bed, he's telling me about fishing and entertaining me and telling me some, interesting stuff. And I am pumped up. I'm so ready to go fishing. And I was bored out of my freaking mind. And then when we finally got a fish, which was the only excitement of the whole thing, he's like, okay, grab the fish. We're going to take the hook out. And I'm like, touch it? That's not going to happen. And so I've never fished since. I've never touched a fish since. I'll just say it ended badly from there. But what I learned from this experience is that in order to catch a fish, you have to dangle some bait. You have to dangle a worm or a lure or whatever else it is in order to attract that fish and get it to bite. Well, guess what? A hook with your videos is doing the same thing. It is about dangling something in front of your viewers that makes them want to bite and say, I'm going to watch this video. That's the purpose of a hook, okay? So it is this whole idea of, where did my thing go? Dangling that bait and getting them interested. What I want you to think about is your audience is on their phones. 90% of us are on our phones watching videos, right? And they are scrolling, and a video is going to pop up. And they might just listen to that very first little bit to decide, do I want to watch this or do I not want to watch this? So what a hook does, if done correctly, is it stops the scroll. It stops them from moving on past, and it makes them go, okay, I want to listen to this. It keeps them interested in what you are talking about. It makes them want to stop their scroll, unmute their phone, and listen to what's happening. Okay? Now today, you are going to learn my favorite hook. Oh man, I got all sorts of things open here. And that is ask a question. Now I will tell you, for those of you that are going to join us in the Go Live League, there are 20 other hooks that you are going to learn. And there are different reasons to use different hooks. You can, and there's probably even more than 20. I think when I first did the initial research, I want to say I found like 35 different ways that you can start your video and grab this attention. But this is the one I use the most often, probably 90% of the time. Why? Because it works. It is effective. It is easy. Okay? So if we go back to the workbook that you guys are filling along with me in here, okay? Number one, which was about why is it important? It's about stopping the scroll and making them want to watch your video. The most effective hook then is to ask a question. Now let's talk a little bit about why that's so beneficial. Why is that so important? And which page am I on here? Ooh, hang on, I'll get there, I promise. I'm just clicking away. There we go. Okay, so why would it be important to ask a question? Questions make us think. Yes? Questions make us go internal and process and say, well, is this me? Is she talking to me? Does she mean me? Does this connect with me? Is this about me? Will this help me? That's what we start to think about when we hear that particular question. Maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, there's a connection point. It resonates. There's a thought process where you say, okay, wait a minute. She's asking me about something I want to know about, which makes me want the answer. And if this video is going to be the answer to that, then I'm all in. I'm going to stop my scroll and I'm going to watch. See how that works? Okay. So if you think about all of these different benefits, not only does it connect and resonate and they want the answer, the other thing that it does is it makes them start typing. They want to comment, right? If your question is juicy enough, or if you do an effective enough job at encouraging them to actually type their answers, they will comment on your video. What does commenting do? It boosts the algorithm, okay? If the way the algorithm works is it says, here's this content, here's this video. Ooh, people are commenting on this. This must be quality content. I'm going to show it to more people. And that's what you want, okay? So right out of the gate, you are connecting with your audience by asking a question, and you are getting them to type. It's a win-win here. All right, now what you're probably wondering is, Jamie, I got small there. I don't know how I did that. You're probably wondering, how the heck do I do this? Wrong one. How do I plan a hook? How do I figure it out? Okay. On the next page of your workbook, you have some places to be thinking about this. Okay. First one is just a refresh of, okay, front and center. What is the tip I'm going to share? And what is the story that I'm going to tell? So just as a refresh from yesterday, my tip is I'm teaching you to use mayo instead of butter on your grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the story I'm going to tell is the taste test that I did with my husband. I made one of each sandwich and we did a little taste test. I'm going to tell that story. Okay. Now what it says here is number 5 is to brainstorm all possible hooks. I want to give you a new thing to think about. Okay, this is not in your workbook. So what I'm wanting you to do is kind of maybe flip over to the notes page. I'm going to show you a little bit of a workaround here in a second. But what I want you to focus on is, what is the problem your ideal perfect client is having that this video solves? What is the problem they are having that this video will help them with? Not what your program helps them with, not what your offer helps them with, not what your coaching or your course or your membership or any of that, but this video. If you focus on that problem, then you're going to be much better, in a much better place to ask a question that connects with them. Remember, you're dangling bait here. Okay? If you're sitting there and you're going, oh, I don't really like to talk about problems because it's negative. Okay, you can flip it. And you can talk about the solution they want. What is the solution they want is just a more positive spin on the problem. Okay? All right. Now, in your workbook, if you want to take that 5 block and draw a line down the center, and on one half, I want you to write down the problems they're having, and then you can better define or brainstorm possible questions that you can ask about that problem. That's one way to do it, okay? There is another way, and it is with POW bubbles, okay? So what you're gonna do is, in the center, put that problem. Let me get rid of that guy so he's not in our way, okay? In the center here, I'm gonna put the problem that I'm having, and then I'm gonna POW bubble possible questions that I can ask. Okay, so if I'm thinking about my, mayo instead of butter on my grilled cheese sandwich or my grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the problem I'm having could be that my kids are bored. They're tired of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's all the same. It doesn't taste as good. Okay, so maybe it's bored. If that's what it is, bored of PB&J. Now I'm going to come up with, what possible questions could I ask that will connect and resonate? So obviously I can just turn that into a question. Are your kids bored? Okay, maybe bored makes me think of something else. Are the kids complaining? Maybe if it's not kids, I can pow off this. Are you tired? Is it you? Is it your spouse? Is it somebody else complaining? Right? Again, these are questions that I'm asking. Are your kids bored? Are your kids complaining? Another one might be, do you want to elevate? Make them that grilled peanut butter and jelly gourmet version. Okay? So all you're doing is saying, how do I turn this problem or solution into a question format? That makes them want to get the answer, which is what you're giving them in the video, okay? Does everybody see how that works? You see how that works? Let me see if there's any questions, and then we'll get to the rest of this. Okay. Hold on. Everybody's ready for this. I love it. I'm going to come back to your comment, Catherine. I see it about the... I love it. Okay. Sharon asks, are open-ended or closed questions better? Okay. What do you think? Remember the goal and the objective here. What do you think? I would tell you this. The more typing that people do, then the more that boosts the algorithm. So if you ask an open-ended question, you're going to get more typing than just, yep, nope, 5. Okay? However, if your question is really heavy, and by that I mean thought-provoking, and it takes time and energy and all of that, they won't do it. Okay? They're on their phone scrolling while they're cooking dinner. They don't want to stop and think and just solve life's problems. Okay? If it's too heady, then it becomes rhetorical, and they don't do anything because they got to think about it. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I got to think about that. And then they don't want to miss what's coming, so they don't type. So in those situations, depending on your topic, then you might want to have something that's easier for them to answer. Yes, no. Another really good one is to say, which, this or this, which do you think is better? Those are always good ones, okay? It's about sometimes with driving engagement, the easier the question is, the more likely they are to start typing. And if they start typing, then they'll do more typing. And that's what you want. Okay? Okay. Hopefully that answers your question in a non-answered way. Okay. You got it. You got it. Okay. Everybody's with me so far. So back to this workbook. Once you have brainstormed in either format, whether it's on paper or like this, you have to pick the one that you're going to use. That is your homework today. Your homework is, we just did it, right? What is the problem they're having? What are possible questions I could ask to use as my hook? And which one am I going to use? Now, the question inevitably comes up, oh my gosh, they're all good. Which one should I use? Which one do you like the best? Which one resonates most with you? Which one do you think is going to resonate most with them? You can't go wrong. They're all good. They're all good. Okay, those of you who are in VIP, you have an extra video today. Yesterday you got storytelling basics. Today you're getting the post-it note model. Now the post-it note model allows you to plan. I wonder if I had an example here. Plan your videos like this so that all of your notes are easily accessible and you can still make eye contact, which we'll talk more about tomorrow. So you're going to get that one today. And then the next 2 days, you're going to get camera angles and you're going to get connecting fun, positive, or fun stories to your business, not positive. Fun stories, random things to your business. So know that that's coming. For those of you, if anybody has not yet updated to VIP and you want to, there's still time. You still can. Okay, let's recap what you are doing today. First and foremost, identify the problem that your audience is having that this video solves. If you don't want to focus on the problem, you can absolutely shift and focus on the solution they want. So instead of me saying, are your kids complaining? Are your kids bored? You can say, do you want to elevate your sandwich? Now see how that is yes, no, either yes, no. They're all yes, no's. How might you change that into open? You might do a question that says, what's your favorite kind of sandwich? What's the sandwich you make most often for your kids? What would it mean if your kids stopped complaining and were begging you for grilled cheese or keep saying grilled cheese. Maybe I need to do a whole different video on grilled cheese, grilled peanut butter and jelly. See how you can shift that to more open-ended? Okay. You're going to brainstorm all the possible hooks that you can come up with, and then you're going to pick the one that you want. It's that simple. I make it sound simple, but you can absolutely get in your own head here and start overthinking and analyzing. You can't go wrong. Okay? Here's the deal. You're going to be doing lots of videos. So if this hook doesn't work, next time you do it, do another video. All of these, just like with your stories, these all can become different videos with different hooks that you try. Okay? You can also use these hooks in your social media content, just saying, to drive engagement in your Facebook groups, all of it. Okay, you will need to share your homework yet again today. So yesterday you had a homework post, and you have one today that looks like this. Day 2 homework, what hook are you going to start your video with? It assumes you can plan it, pick it, and drop it. Got it? Tomorrow, we will get into how do you connect with your viewer. This is a little bit more on storytelling, teeny tiny bit more on storytelling, and it's more about how do you make eye contact with your viewer. That is where the connection point happens. All right? Okay. What questions do you have? Wait. Before we do questions, I forgot. There are prizes. I can't believe I forgot to cover this yesterday. Okay. If you do your homework post all 3 days, so there was one yesterday, that was share your story and your call to action. Today's is share your hook. Tomorrow will be something else. You got to do all 3 of those. And then you are going to go live using your planned video this week. You can do it Thursday. You can do it Friday. You can do it Saturday. Any of those days works. Two things are going to happen. Your first month in the Go Live League will be $1. So you're going to get a link from me to join for $1. And you will be entered into a drawing. I'm going to spin the prize wheel. Everybody whose name is on that prize wheel, somebody's going to win 3 months in the Go Live League. Yay? Exciting? Okay. If you are wondering what the Go Live League is, it is a membership. You are going to start by going through a 12-module course. It is where you're going to learn the rest of this framework. So you've learned hook, story, call to action. In that 12-module course, you're going to learn the rest of it. Okay, this is for those of you that want to go longer than just a 2 or 3 minute video. Maybe you want to go, eventually you want to do a half an hour or an hour. You're wanting, it is all of the parts and pieces in addition to hook, story, call to action. Okay, this course itself is something I'm going to start selling separately, and separately it's going to be a $200 course. So you're getting it for free inside the Go Live League. Then after you've completed that and you understand that framework, every month we have a different focus. It's all video related. Everybody in the membership gets to vote on topics that they want. We kind of forecast out for the next few months. It'll be all sorts of topics. In 2025, we're going to be doing Reels. We're going to be doing Instagram Lives. We're going to be doing how do you be more charismatic on camera. I'm drawing a blank, but on the website, when you go look at it, the list is right there. Okay. Our calls for the Go Live League are on Thursday mornings, or at least mornings here in my time zone. And after, it's $33 a month. That's it. There are a lot of other bells and whistles that you get inside the Go Live League. If you go to the link, there's a video and there's all sorts of information about it. And obviously I'm happy to talk about it if you want to talk more about it. Okay. Now, that concludes the learning portion for today. Now I will take your questions. My ask would be that we would start with questions on hooks first, and then I'll go wherever else you want, even if it's back to yesterday. Okay, so what questions do you have about figuring out your hook and planning your hook? Oh, thanks, Danny. I saw Danny's note about the Go Live League is awesome. It is one of the things that I'm most proud of. It's one of the things that I love doing. For me personally, every month I get to create a new piece of content. And I get to see everybody make just tremendous progress. And I think for me, the fact that I've continued to keep it at an affordable rate is something I'm proud of, because I want everyone to be able to get better at video, because I think it makes such a difference in how you get your message out to the world. So everybody always tells me, including the people in the membership, that I need to raise that price on that. And I don't want to. I'm going to leave it right as it is. So, okay, questions on hooks. I'm not seeing any questions. Does that mean you don't have any? What? How can it be? How can that be? All right, I'm going to share a couple other things. Okay, Laura says, do I need to do, I don't know that this is a question. I think this is a statement, but I'm going to turn it into a question. Do I need to do day 1 before day 2? Yes. Here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about your hook as sort of like a movie trailer or a movie preview. So, when you go to the theater, or even when you rent movies, sometimes there are previews, right? And you are seeing the next movie. Well, I want you to think about, put your hat on, that is the people who are making the movies. They can't make the movie preview unless they have some footage shot of the actual movie. They don't have to have it all the way done, but they have to have enough of the movie shot so that they have clips to put into the movie trailer. Make sense? Okay, you got to do the same thing. It's very hard to plan your hook if you don't know where you're going. If you don't know, how do you answer the question of what problem is somebody having that this video solves if you haven't figured out what's in that video? If you don't know what's in that video, what story you're telling, what tips you're going to share, it's really hard to figure out that problem and have the right hook. So yes, you need to figure out what you're going to cover in your video and then plan your hook. Think movie, preview, trailer. Okay? Now, there was a comment earlier, and I can't remember who said it. I think it was maybe Amanda, said the connection point between the story and the call to action, and that was her aha. Ideally, you want all of this to be connected. You want your hook, your story, the points that you're making in your video, and your call to action to all be connected. Let me show you an example of what it feels like when it's not connected. Okay, so this is a do not Do not do it this way. Okay? So if I were to start off and I were to say, oh my gosh, Halloween's coming up. Are you going to decorate? No, not decorate. Are you going to, do you wear a costume for Halloween? Are you like, do you like makeup? Are you hats? Or like, what's going on with your costume? I would love to know. I want to tell you a quick story about this time when I was working in corporate and I had to go in and present to the executives. And I'm going to tell that same story that I told you all earlier. Now, right now, you're already probably going, why did she ask me about the Halloween costumes? Like, what? Okay. So even if they stay and they're listening about the boardroom and the aha and all of that, and I say, oh my gosh, okay, so I hope you learned some valuable things here today about just your communication skills and how you get your presentation out and all of that wonderful stuff. I would love it if you would buy my cookbook. What? Why are you selling me a cookbook? You've just been telling me about presentation skills. And how does that have to do with Halloween? They're not connected. None of it's connected. Okay? So there's a moment when you are planning your video where you have to stop and you have to check in and you have to say, okay, is my hook a good question that's leading me to people to want to watch this video? Because in this video, I'm sharing these tips, these 2 or 3 points. I'm telling this story. Is there a connection there? And is my call to action connected where it just seems like the very next natural thing? You've taught me this. Now sell me something or get me to do something that's about the thing that you just told me. There should be some connection points in there, okay? So hopefully that is a light bulb moment for you. Okay. Danny's still bragging on the Go Live League. I love it. I love it that you love it. Okay. Is there a trick to making a hook juicy? Okay, there's my word I love to use. Because let's face it, if your video is not juicy content, then people are going to bounce. They're not going to watch it. If they're not getting value out of it, why would they stay and watch? So how do you make your hook juicy? Is to ask the question that they are thinking in their head. Like, have you ever had that happen where you watch a video? I'd love to say it's one of mine, but let's just say it's a video in general. And somebody asks you a question and you almost go, do they have a camera in here? How do they know that I am thinking that? How do they know that that's bothering me? How do they know that that is my struggle? That's how you make it juicy. It's not about the right adjectives or the right any of that. It's about the punch in the nose that really basically calls out to your ideal client as if you had a massive blowhorn, megaphone, whatever, to say, hey, I know you. I know what your challenge is, and I can help you. In fact, I'm going to help you right now. Watch this video. That's how you make it juicy. You pick topics that they want, the thing that's keeping them up in the middle of the night, and then you start with a hook that's just like, boom, right on the nose. I was going to do a hammer on the head of the nail, but then again, I'm not a tool person, so that doesn't work for me. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Okay. Amanda loves the Go Live League. You guys are great. I love it so much. Okay. Sharon says, other suggestions on assessing which hook to use. I'm a classic overthinker and would like something objective to use for rating them. Okay, so rate them. That's what I would do. On a scale from 1 to 10, how good is this? Okay, maybe you rate it based on what we just talked about for Danny. So, kids bored. On a scale of 1 to 10, how many of my ideal clients have kids that are bored? Well, that's maybe a 6. I don't know that they're bored. Are the kids complaining about, oh God, peanut butter and jelly sandwich again? That's a pretty good one. Maybe I give myself an 8 on that one. Okay. Do you want to elevate your peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Is my ideal client thinking that? Okay, this is a really good moment. I'm gonna use a totally different example because I think that it resonates, and I got permission from Cindy Booth to share this. So she's given me permission to share this. So she was doing a video. She's a money coach. She helps people with their financials and have healthy relationships with money and understand how to budget and to save and how to all of that stuff. And she was doing a video, and it was on lack versus abundance. And she said, Jamie, like my audience they're not really engaging with this. Nobody's like wanting to come and watch this video. Like nobody's signing up for it. Like, what's going on here, right? And so here's the question I asked, and this is good for you all to ask yourself. Is your ideal client, are they waking up in the middle of the night worried about that? Do they wake up in the middle of the night going, oh my gosh, I need to know what lack and abundance is and where I'm missing out? No, that's not what they're waking up in the middle of the night worried about. What are they waking up in the middle of the night worried about? And that's when her light bulb went off. Okay, what they're waking up in the middle of the night worried about is, how am I going to make sales? What am I going to do for retirement? What's going to happen if? Like, those become the questions that you want to ask. Okay, so again, going back to Sharon's question, do you want to elevate your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? That's not waking anybody up in the middle of the night, is it? No, that's probably going to be a low score. Doesn't mean that it's not good, but because sometimes that may make you think of other ideas. Okay, so if they don't want to elevate their sandwich, what do they want? Maybe there's something else they want that this idea makes me think of that would become a higher number than a 3. Okay? Here's the deal. There's no crystal ball. There's no magic 8 ball. You guys remember the magic 8 balls? There's no magic 8 ball that's going to make you go, what's the right one? I think what happens is that over time, the more you do this, you're going to figure out what works and what doesn't. But the best tip that I can give you, other than scoring and rating those numbers, is to say, make sure that you are really getting in tune with your ideal client. Who is your ideal client? What drives them? What are their problems and challenges? And I know a lot of coaches out there tell you to get clear on all of that. If you've not done that work, you need to do that, because so many, understanding their problems and their dreams and what they want, it's like a gold mine of all sorts of different hooks you can ask and answer, or you can ask and answer and do videos on. So hopefully that helps a little bit, okay? Those of you that are in the Go Live League, you know this. If you're struggling to figure out a hook for a video, you have a Facebook group, drop it in the Facebook group and we'll all help you. So the Go Live League is as much a community as it is a learning place. So just planting that idea. Okay. Hopefully that helps, Sharon. Let me know if you need something else. Okay, Debbie says, how long will we get for our lives? How much time? Is that what you're asking? Or when do you have to go live in order to be for the prizes? I'm not sure what you're asking, so I'm going to answer them both, Debbie, okay? My plan was to do the spin the wheel drawing on Monday, which would mean you would need to go live by, let's say, midnight Sunday night in order to get your name on that wheel that I'm going to spin on Monday. Sound good? Is that fair? In terms of when do I have to go live in order to get into the Go Live League for $1 this month, you can take as much time as you want on that, and I'll give you the link for the $1. So what is it today? 16th? Let's say by Halloween in order to get your $1 in. Okay. If it is the amount of time in your live, what I would tell you to do is if you're new to going live, I would start small. I think I did a post, I was this week, on consistency. The most important thing you can do is be consistent with when you show up. So pick a day and a time that you're gonna show up every Thursday at 12 o'clock. Only don't pick that one, because that's when I go. I want you here with me. Every Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time is when I go live. I get in the habit of it. I know I have to plan for it. I now am systematic about getting ready for that. My members in my group know that it's Thursday at noon. Many of them put it on their calendar. I have people that will show up to my lives and they'll be like, what are we talking about today? I don't even know what we're talking about today, but I don't want to miss it, because they're in that same pattern. Okay. It also helps the algorithm, because the algorithm gets used to you and what you are doing. So pick a day and a time and consistently show up then. It also holds you accountable. And I know that wasn't your question, but that accountability, I'm telling you what, you put it out into your group, in your Facebook group, you create an event and you say, I'm going to be live at this day and time. And the fact that somebody is expecting you will make you show up. There are times where, and I don't want to overshare here, but my husband is very sick. He's not well. And there are some days where I am just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go live. I don't want to do it. And I go and look at that event and I'll see that 14 people have said, me, I'm going to be there. And I say, well, I have to show up for them. So even though I might not want to be there, I will walk through broken glass to help you. And you can create that same sort of accountability. Okay, so that's a little bit on consistency. The question was about time. How long? So here's what I would tell you. If you're going live, if you're gonna pick a day and a time, start small. 5 minutes. You will be amazed at how going live for 5 minutes once a week, what that will do for you and your community. Get comfortable with that first. If you can get comfortable with that, then stretch it to 10 minutes. Do that for a few weeks. Stretch it to 15 minutes until you get to the point where it's comfortable for you and it's the right time for your audience. Now, for this challenge, I want you to shoot for 3 minutes. There's a reason I'm picking 3 minutes. One, there's a lot of you doing this challenge, and if all of those videos are super long, people aren't going to watch them all. Okay, so I want you to strive for 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a great number to do a hook, tell a story, give me a couple pointers, and have a call to action. If you can't hit 3 minutes, don't worry about it. I don't want you going live going, okay, I've only been live for a minute. I better keep talking about nothing. Okay, if you can get hook, story, your points, call to action in a minute and a half, 2 minutes, be done. It's good. You're good. Okay. The reason I want to limit you to 3 minutes is because for those of you that like to ramble and go on tangents, this will focus you. Okay. That's what's behind that. That was a really long answer to what should have been a short question. But hopefully that was valuable in and of itself. Okay. Let's see what else you got. Julie says, are we going live in the Get On Camera group? Yes. In the Get On Camera group. You can go live whenever you want. Don't worry about it. I will say this though. Every once in a while, somebody will message me and say, I can't, it won't let me. If somebody else is going live at that moment, it will be grayed out and you can't do it. So if you see that happen, if you don't have the step-by-step checklist in front of you to check and make sure you've got all the things, the go live won't go blue. It stays gray. And if you're like, I have all the things, I have my 2 green check marks, I'm ready to go. Why is it not working? It could be that somebody else is going live and you can't both be live at the same time. So just a call out. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Okay. Debbie says, how much time will we get to talk when we do our lives this weekend? Yep. 3 minutes. Now I will say this, every Wednesday after this week, every Wednesday, you can go live in this community. It's Go Live Wednesday. You can go live, and my ask of you is to go live and introduce yourself, because every Wednesday we welcome new members into this community. So make it be about, hey, welcome, so glad you're here. Make it be a practice. I don't limit the amount of time that you spend on that. If you want to talk for 15, 20 minutes, go for it. I will just tell you again, if it's not a planned event and people don't have it on their calendar, which is going to be the case with you, they probably won't stay that long. So again, shoot for 3 to 5 minutes, something like that. Okay. Okay, Catherine says, I didn't post my homework in the group yesterday. That's okay. You can still post it in the group. There's not a cutoff. You can wait until Friday, Saturday, and then go back and answer all of the homework questions. You're fine. Again, inside the group, go to guides. There will be 3 guides, the first 3. Day 1, day 2, day 3. It'll all be in there if you can't find it. Okay. Lisa says, do you advertise that you are going live beforehand? Yep. And you can do that a number of different ways. If you're going live in your Facebook group, create an event for that. There's a lot of value in creating that event. It's easy for people to find. It's easy for people to get the information that they need. It's easy for you to send out those links in other places. Yes. If you are going live on your Facebook personal profile, you don't have an event, so you don't have the ability to do that. But I will often communicate that I will be live at such and such a time, but you don't have to. Here's kind of at least my rule of thumb. If I'm going live in my group and it's a big like I'm gonna talk for 30, 40, maybe even an hour like these are. I schedule those as events because I know that my audience needs to block time in their calendar in order to show up to be here. And I want them to be here for the whole thing. If I'm going to do just a short live, something quick, I'm typically going to do it on my phone, and I just go live when it suits me. I don't worry about scheduling it, but those I keep shorter. Those I try to keep them under 5 minutes. So hopefully that helps you there. There is a whole science to marketing your events. We actually did this as a masterclass in the Go Live League. I don't remember when it is, but it's still in there. So those of you that join, when you join, if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll point you to that masterclass. You can go back and watch it. That's the other cool thing about the Go Live League. All of them are in there and available. So you can go back and watch anything that you may have missed in the past. But what I will say about like marketing your event is you've got to, who was I talking? It was Catherine I was talking about. She's one of our VIPs, and we were messaging. Was that last night or the night before? I can't remember. We were messaging about she's going to do a newsletter, but she might not call it a newsletter. And so, how do you market to that? How do you get people to sign up for that newsletter? And the best thing that I can tell you is to lead with value. So when you think about what you're learning here with this hook story call to action, one of the things that we talked about today is what is the problem that your audience has that this video solves? Well, if this video is a promotional video, that's a little harder. See where I'm going? Nobody wants to watch a video that's you just pitching your stuff unless they're already interested in learning about that thing ahead of time. So what you have to do is you have to give them a teeny tiny piece of some value that they learn or get or understand or whatever verb you want, that makes them go, oh my gosh, that was so good. And now they're ready to hear you on whatever it is that you are pitching. So even in your lives, if you're promoting your lives, I've gone live and done like a short, like 2 or 3 minute live to promote my longer live that happens on Thursday. But I still give value in that. Okay, I could talk about this for days, but hopefully that gets you started and it gets you a little bit of answer there. Okay. Catherine says, I wasn't going to read this, but I'm going to because I think there's a cool call out there. I'm sorry to hear about your hubby. Your share is inspiring. My aha moment today is to get out of self-pity. Yeah. I will tell you that most days for me, it is really hard. He is essentially bedbound. If he gets up, I have to be there because he's got a heart condition now and he can pass out. And so it's a lot of coordinating. It's a lot of hard work. As a result, I'm nearly housebound because I can't leave. And I can absolutely get caught up, and I have days where I just get caught up in, this is my life and how sucky it is and how awful it is. But that's not going to benefit anybody, right? That doesn't help me. That doesn't help him. That doesn't help you as my, I'm going to call you all my clients because you are. And so it's about just putting one step forward. So I'm glad that little bit inspired you. That's awesome. And by the way, I talk about this not all the time, but I'm an open book. So I'm happy to share if anybody else is going through this and needs some, not coaching around it, but just let me know. Okay. All right. How am I doing on time? Okay. I see Julie's comment about scheduling and setting up time so it doesn't get jammed. It doesn't happen enough to be worth doing all of that time and energy. And again, going back to my husband, I'm trying to do less over planning so that I can spend more time with him and help him with his healing. That just sounds like way too complex. I would rather you all just go live when you want to go live. All I'm saying is if it doesn't work, if it won't light up blue, just check in the group and see if somebody else is live. If they're live, wait till they're done and then you go. See, that's just as easy. Okay. What else do we have here? Laura says, I ramble. We talked about this yesterday, the rambling, Laura. It's the very end of yesterday. If you want to fast forward to the end of yesterday, we talked about that. Lisa wants the link to the Go Live link. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. There is in your workbook, today, there is a link for you to go and check out the Go Live League. The only thing I will say is, if you are going to do the Go Live Challenge and you're going to get the dollar thing, wait until I give that to you. So if you go to the link that you have right now, it's going to show you $33 a month or $330 for the whole year. If you want to pay for the year, you get 2 months free. Wait until you get the coupon to actually pull the trigger on purchasing. But you can go to that link today and read all about it and watch the video and see what's coming and all the plan. And if you got questions, ask me about it. Okay. I will, when we get off the call here today, I'll send you the link. I'll DM you the link as well. Okay. And I like that you said league, because that's what we call it. The league. We call it the league, or we call it GLL for Go Live League. Now you're caught up on the lingo. Okay. Danny says, I'm grateful to have met you this summer. You've been instrumental in moving me in the right direction. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thanks, Danny. Aw. Aw. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. You all done with questions? Nobody's got any more questions? Y'all good? I will say this on the league. I don't think I said this before. If membership is just not your jam, if you don't like to learn in that way, and you want to just purchase that 12 module course as a standalone course, we can do that. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I have 2 spots left for one-on-one containers, starting in November. That might not be right, but I'll honor that if I need to. And then the other thing is I'm going to be doing what's called Sparkle and Shine. So I do this every holiday season between November, December, January. Sparkle and Shine is a little bit video and a little bit social media. And so it's really about figuring out your messaging. And you're going to learn some of these video frameworks. You're going to get feedback from me, and we'll also do some social media. So you've got other options. If membership's not your thing, I would say the best thing to do is let's have a conversation and I can talk to you about whatever is more your speed. Okay. Sandy says, thank you. See you tomorrow. Yes. Perfect way to sign off. All right. So I will just say this in closing. Hooks can be a little daunting at first. And it is very much a creative muscle that has to be developed. The more you push yourself to do it, the more you practice it, the easier it gets, sort of like stories. The more you start to think about stories and see stories everywhere, the easier it gets, okay? What I often find with the people in the league or my one-on-one clients is that you are overthinking it. You are caught in analysis paralysis, and you are far too worried about making sure it is the perfect hook. And I will tell you, that's what's slowing you down, likely not just in your videos, but probably in your business too. Okay? Yes, you want to pick a hook that works. Hopefully I've given you some things to think about today that help you make those decisions the best that you can. The best advice that I can give you is just pick one. I was going to say at the question earlier, I think it was, I can't remember whose it was, throw darts. I mean, honestly, if you come up with really good questions here, and you might take an eraser and be like, okay, that one's not good. But maybe you come up with 3 that are really good. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. I can't even remember how that song goes. A, B, C, D, throw a dart, spin it. Honestly, you're going to be just as good and effective doing it that way than coming up with some scientific mumbo jumbo that just overcomplicates things. Okay, just remember the whole intent is to connect and engage with your perfect ideal client. Okay, for those of you in the Go Live League, if you've not seen the workbook on ideal client, it's a great one. I would highly encourage you to grab it. It helps you really get in touch with who your ideal client is, and it's going to really help you figure out better hooks, better stories, because you are punching them right in the face with something that resonates with them. Okay, hope that helps. If you got questions, those of you that are VIPs, message me. Otherwise, everybody else, see you tomorrow where we talk about eye contact. Bye, everybody.